after the fight, we kind of like had respect for one another and just went our separate ways, and I hadn't seen him since.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Let's Dream podcast. This will be episode 40. This is your host Lee, and we always have our co-host
Casey Lucid. Hello everybody.
So today we're going to be doing another Dream Stories episode, and we only have 4 episodes for you all today. They're pretty long, so we decided to have only 4 for just today. We'll hope you all enjoy. Before we get to it, I want to announce that we do have a Discord and we're working on it, and if you guys want an invite link, just let us know and we'll probably put it in the description on us. So probably click on that if you'd like to interact with us a little bit more, ask some questions there, and we hope to see you.
Alright, sounds good. So the first story is from a returning user, Puzzled Phoenix. Hello there, Phoenix. Always nice to hear from you. You always have some really interesting and crazy stories. So he calls this one A Strange Barren World. A Strange Barren World of Dormant Power. Okay, he writes, "Hello, I'm back again to share one of the strongest dreams I've had. There has never been a dream where I witnessed landscape in such detail. I will detail this from start to finish. Me and an unarmed companion I refer to as friend are on a journey to a volcano to retrieve a powerful water. I assume it had the ability to give life or power to whoever drinks it. I come to the realization of this dream while our journey has already started. As we are walking through a woodland area with tall, thin, leafless trees, rain starts to fall. It's worth to mention that the sky remains gray throughout the dream. We keep going until we reach a cliff. From here, we see a massive barren plain, and in the distance, a massive wall of mountains and what happens to be carved-in structures similar to towers. We scale down the cliff until we reach the bottom. Vegetation does not seem to grow here, and as far as the eye can see is only dirt. We make our way to the massive mountains in the distance where we believe the volcano is located, but we notice a structure we didn't spot from the cliff. It is an abandoned building, and upon further investigation it is clear it was a private school and a manor. Whether through age or from destruction by a powerful person, it has not fared well. Throughout this building is a questionable amount of sharp objects such as blades with no handles, sharpened kitchen knives, large sharpened scissors, and other similar tools. Here is where things take a weird turn. I become aware by intuition alone that something has a hold on this location, as this place and the field itself doesn't belong here. My friend disregards my assumption and urges us to continue on. We leave the destroyed building, but a wave of what can be described as nothingness washed over us. We sit around questioning what happened and why we are even out here until we remember our goal. When we remembered, we didn't acknowledge the strange feeling. Not far from the school is a rather large tree surrounded with 3 similar trees. When we approach it, I get a strong feeling of a presence or something powerful nearby. I assume the tree is the source of this powerful being, or if something was just connected to it. I warn my friend that this place should not be touched and claim that it's sacred. He disregards yet again my assumption and says it's just a tree and picks up 2 unique rocks, then strikes the rocks against each other and shoots out a large spark of flames. My friend takes a liking to these powerful stones and keeps them. As we continue to the mountains, the dirt ground turns to a bunch of small thick roots overlapping one another in a large pattern for miles. Further ahead, we see a line of thin trees with what appears to be some kind of den made from stones and logs. We stop to watch the tree line and question the idea that someone or something actually lives out here. While I am staring at the den, I get flooded with a feeling of forgetfulness, and something in my head tells me not to approach the tree line. When I snap out of the trance, I look down to see one of the stones behind me and my friend gone. I pick up the stone that is hot to the touch but doesn't affect me. I see my friend running at the tree with the other 2 stones in some kind of a rage-filled rant with the mission to destroy the tree. I sprint after him, trying to stop him, but it was too late. He banged the rocks together, and the center of the tree was engulfed in flames. As the tree burns, a feeling of uneasiness fills the air and makes my blood go cold. Out of nowhere, he rants about the sins that were committed here and about the terrible things he has done and makes a dash to the building. I continue to chase him down. As he runs into the building, I bump into 2 other people I also call friends. They claim to have followed after us shortly after the journey began. They also claimed they have no idea what this place is or why it's here or how the other guy could know what happened here. We all decide to enter the building and confront the guy. We end up cornering him to try to get him to calm down, but he reveals a bunch of blades he secretly took from the building earlier. After doing this, he goes on a rant about divine justice and how all must pay for their crimes against the divine. He then attempts to kill us with his new weapons and yells at us to kill him first. Ignoring his wishes, we disarm him and pin him into some kind of metallic clamps that seem to grab his wrist on their own. Now that he can't harm anyone or anything, I start questioning him. He ignores my questions and continues his rants on justice and the price to pay. He starts to speak something I cannot recall, and that chilled my soul. I become angry, and my hands start to burn with a strong and powerful heat. I place them on his head, and he starts to cry in pain as his body turns to molten rock and his eyes a fiery glow. I start to speak a strange language, citing some phrases. During this event, I feel an overwhelming sense of purity and strength. This left him as a statue of hot rock and sockets a dimming flame. When it finished, my friends are in shock and awe, and we leave the building. As we are talking, I feel something calling me back into the building, and I tell my friends to remain outside as I go back inside. I follow the feeling through the building down the hall that I haven't explored yet. As reality shifted around me, the halls start to look repaired and have furniture. Ahead is a wooden double door that enters into a large bedroom decorated in dark red cloth and dark wood furniture. On the bed, in the center of the room, is a woman doing her studies. She does not acknowledge my existence, but I am filled with sadness as I approach her bedside. She was blonde, pale, thin, and really beautiful. I lay my head into her lap, and I start to weep. I apologize for not being there for her. I apologize for not telling her I loved her sooner. I apologized for the world ending, and I wake up shortly after.
Damn. That was epic.
Wow. Yeah, geez. That was crazy. Great. Wow.
So basically he gets these imaginary companions that go on this quest with him for the water of life, and then he ends up killing the tree, and I guess that presumably ends the world. And then this woman, he's just like confiding in her. Wow.
It definitely seems like there's a backstory that he just dropped in.
Yeah, he dropped into this like weird like universe and he just like played it out. That's awesome.
Yeah, really, really great. Really good stuff. Thanks for sharing that with us, Puzzled Phoenix. It was really cool.
You know, I would suggest like posting to like a writing subreddit and see what they think about like the story, like as a composition. Maybe that'd be cool. See what they say.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, that's definitely feels like that sometimes with dreams. So yeah, that's a good call.
When the overarching story kind of is developed this much, even though nothing in the universe makes sense, and you're just like, oh, this guy went crazy. Oh, there's another guy telling us to kill him. Oh, it's really cool though.
It seemed really real though, didn't it? Like sometimes dreams feel like you just completely just went into a completely established world.
Yeah, I mean, like everything happened in there seemed are realistic, right?
Yeah.
But they're just like tattered things of whatever instilled into the dream.
Yeah.
And they're just placed there.
So cool.
The next story is from Sashbi138. They titled their dream Machetes and Things. Machetes and Things? Machetes. Machetes and things. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a dream a couple months back. My best friend from high school and I had plane tickets to Missouri during the pandemic. I don't know why. Once we got to the airport, I never saw her again. I had tried calling and texting her, but later I found her phone. And saw that she never saw my messages. I was frantically looking for her everywhere at the airport because our flight got changed and was about to leave. I knew some people at the airport. Some were people I had previously worked with, and one was a good friend growing up. These people were helping me look, but we didn't find her. I was frantic, panicked, but I went ahead and got on the plane and went to Missouri thinking I'd find my friend there. When I got there, I didn't see her anywhere. I was with a friend I've known my entire life, and his now wife, and 2 other people. They were faceless. I did not know who they were. We were driving an SUV looking for my friend in what looked like a war zone. People started coming out of the local bars and other establishments with machetes, yelling, "It's a pandemic raid!" and running out in groups of 50 to 100 from all the establishments around. There were hundreds, if not thousands of people. So I locked the doors to the SUV, grabbed my knife out of my pocket and told everyone in the SUV if they opened the doors, I would slit their throats and personally kill them, and told my friend's wife to get the fuck out of here as people quickly approached my door. I was in the right passenger backseat. There were fires started, buildings engulfed in flames, so many weapons, and so much anger in the air. I woke up as people started to approach my door.
Jeez, man.
I mean, I think that's what the pandemic would have looked like if people actually felt like the world was ending. I could see that.
Yeah, that's, I don't know how to explain it, but, like, this definitely reminds me of, like, a movie, like a post-apocalyptic movie or something, or some kind of a suspense. There's a lot of suspenseful parts in this dream.
Oh, yeah. The friend goes missing?
Yeah, I hate that. Man, I hate that in dreams or in real life. If you're ever out somewhere and then all of a sudden someone you're with or just somebody in your party goes missing, I immediately go on high alert. Even if I know it's not that big of a deal, I don't know why, but I immediately go on high alert. I just feel really uncomfortable in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's someone close to you, and then you see like this kind of hellscape going around and everyone's panicking and everyone's like armed and raising hell, you definitely would not want anyone missing.
Yeah. Oh, man. I kind of wish that there was more to the dream. I'm like, what happened?
Oh, man. That's like all the dreams, though, you know?
Yeah, that happens way too often with dreams. But yeah, thank you for sharing that, Sashby. If you come up with, like, I know you probably won't dream the ending, but if you come up with an ending, I would like to hear it. We'll even read it on the podcast. That'd be interesting to hear.
Oh, you know, it'd be a good idea if, like, people just started writing the endings to their own dreams. Just to have some closure. That'd be fun. Can you do that in a dream journal?
Yeah, I've done that before once or twice, and I only do it if it's like I'm really like emotionally attached to the dream or if I feel like strong emotions, because I usually don't do it, but yeah, I know some people that do that too.
You can definitely make a bunch of different stories if you're a writer or anything like that, or, you know, generally creative. Like, you just continue like the story.
Oh, for sure.
That'd be cool.
Like Neil Gaiman, I saw an interview with Neil Gaiman where he said that that's one of his sources of inspiration is dreams. Like, that's such a great, source of inspiration for anyone that's looking for some.
That dude has twisted dreams then. Wait, no, I'm thinking Stephen King. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, he's also actually, I've seen interviews with him where he also talked about dreams. No, dreams are a very creative aspect of people's lives. So, yeah, I agree. Good source for it.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one is from user Yeleted. I really like that name. They titled this one Trees and Clouds. So the dream goes, I dreamt that I was this dragon. It was odd. The head was a little bigger than what you'd normally expect, with 2 large horns seamlessly complementing the head into a V shape. The neck was short. The arms were almost proportional to that of a human, and even had claws that looked like hands with long withered wings. I, was by all means horrifying, but it didn't bother me. I was flying through the clouds and I was so happy. They were so soft and the world was filled with trees that touched the sky. I didn't want to leave them, but for some reason, I felt this anger. It's the thing I remember the most about it, that feeling of hatred for something. I can't quite figure it out. I can't quite figure out what it was. There was a plane with people in it, lots of tents, some bonfires. Were they farmers, refugees, soldiers, mercenaries? I was too angry to care. a fog covered the sky, and everything was black and white. Last thing I remember is dismembered bodies in my claws and a trail of blood behind me. It should have been a terrible experience, but I was so empty that I didn't feel a thing. Was it a nightmare? I can't really tell. But I do it again so that I could touch the clouds. The end.
Dang.
Yeah,
that's
wow.
crazy.
These are all really interesting dreams we got today. Really, there's like a depth of emotion in them.
And there's so much, like, you could definitely, like, just make a cool, like, story out of it. It's awesome.
Yeah, you're right. That's another one that you could easily see this turning into like a comic book or something. I do want to point out, I really like this dream because they were explaining the feeling or the sensation of being a dragon flying through the clouds. And that's really probably like one of my absolute favorite things that just will never cease to amaze me about dreams, is how they just, like, the sensations and the feelings that you can get, like, because you can't really, as a human being, you know, you can't just fly through the sky with your body, you know, just to experience what it'd be like flying through clouds. But in dreams you can. And that's really cool that they experienced that. They even wrote that they would do it again just to experience that sensation. So I thought it was cool.
I really like the last part where they felt the anger of seeing, like, I guess, humans. And then something happens and their dragon instincts took over and, like, slaughtered them all. Yeah. And then they're back to, like, happily flying into the clouds.
That's cool. I mean, because if you think about it, you know, if dragons were real, that's probably what would happen. You know, it's like, oh, damn humans.
He's just like, I'd do it again.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so thank you, you lead it. That was a great dream. All right. So the last dream we have for today is from user Lack of Reality. Very appropriate.
Yeah.
So there is an 11-year-old boy driving an SUV, but there's a child, 5 or through up to 8 years of age, walking down the sidewalk, and the 11-year-old decides to kill him with an axe. He does so, and the body disappeared. Then there's an adult walking down the sidewalk, and the adult teleports into the SUV and is killed with the axe by the boy. The boy decides to go to the park with a few of his friends. His friends get in a line, you know, arm to arm, akin to Red Rover, before the playground. The boy wasn't in the line. He was closer to the playground than everyone else. And then he jumped around and turned into a clown, Pennywise, still retaining his age. Now they all climbed into the playset, but Pennywise kept scaring them off. Suddenly, flashback to when his friend was cursed with becoming rubber. The curse stated that if he saw any type of mirror, he'd become trapped in said mirror. So Pennywise goes after the rubber kid and he runs away. Pennywise says he will attack the rubber kid's crush, but the rubber kid runs into traffic and spots a car's headlight and becomes trapped in them, thus ending the dream.
Well, that one, yeah.
Can you relate?
I mean, geez, yeah, I've had plenty of Pennywise dreams, so I can sympathize with you, buddy. Yeah, freaking hate Pennywise.
Yeah. So the 11-year-old was Pennywise all along, right? And then he just slaughtered these kids and that one adult.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, it's like, honestly, one of the main reasons. Well, I wouldn't say one of the main, but a strong reason why I really wanted to, like, get good at lucid dreaming was so that I could kick Pennywise ass. Which eventually I did. So I'm like, and honestly. Here's the weird part. Here's the really weird and cool part. So I used to have, like, regular nightmares about Pennywise, like, every now and then, until I learned how to lucid dream. And then I actually had a karate fight showdown with him at a playground one time. And, like, eventually, like, after the fight, we kind of, like, had respect for one another and just went our separate ways, and I hadn't seen him since.
Yo, that's great. Honestly, I think that's one of my favorite dreams from you. And it's not only that, but it's hilarious. First of all, like, it's like I imagine the if you guys know about Family Guy, the Peter and the little chicken suit guy, or is a giant chicken, and they just fight each other. It's so funny. Yeah. But you do bring up a good very good point there, right? It's just like, this is what lucid dreaming allows you to do. And if you guys read or heard the video game podcast with the first example I gave with Resident Evil and Jill Valentine, where she had, like, these traumatic experiences, like, I would love to see, like, an expansion or, like, more to her story where we go into these, you know, traumatic dreams, and then she can, like, you know, overcome them and process them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that would be cool.
So just like you kind of, in your dream, you went lucid and like, you guys had respect for each other at the end and you guys went your separate ways. Like, I feel like that is a form of overcoming that fear of Pennywise, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, that's how I feel about it. Like, for example, like years later, when the remix, or what was it, the remake of of It came out, like I was able to watch it without and I didn't have any nightmares or anything like that. But before that, I remember, man, the old, what was it, the old It, like with the 80s, special effects, where they looked really realistic because they were actually realistic and like they were actually real and not computer generated. There was something really deeply disturbing about that movie. But it doesn't really scare me anymore, especially after that dream. So that's definitely something people should aim for if they have things they want to overcome.
Yeah, it's the power of I guess just dreams in general. And then you become more powerful with lucid dreaming.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, Stephen LaBarge talks about it extensively in his book. He's actually helped people with PTSD kind of get over the traumatic experience that they had in their past with the use of lucid dreaming. So it's definitely highly underrated for things like that.
Yeah, it's crazy and awesome. Yeah, I'd like just to point out that if you see clowns from before It, and just clowns from the 50s or the 60s, they are terrifying. They're straight terrifying. I don't know how older generations lived with themselves.
Yeah, I don't. How did that even start? Why did anybody think that clowns are funny? If you see a clown, it's just that looks freaky. I don't know. Why would anybody think? Or a mime? I think mimes are even freakier than clowns.
Really? I think mimes are pretty harmless. But if you Google the Ronald McDonald, the very first picture, that is straight nightmare fuel, man. If you're willing, just do it and see for you guys self. Freaking clowns, man.
Agreed. But anyway, I think that's all the dreams that we had for today. But they were very, very good dreams. Kind of long, but really good.
Yeah. So thank you all for listening. And as always, if you guys have any comments, leave them. Let us know what you think. Let us know your favorite dreams. Let us know if you're keeping up with your dream journals. We're on most social medias, Insta, Facebook, YouTube. Catch us all there.
Oh yeah, that dragon one. I did an illustration that's gonna be going up on Instagram sometime this week. If anybody wants to check it out.
And share with your friends. And we will see you in the next stream.
Bye everyone.